Adrian, welcome to my channel. Today I am here to bring you the first quarterly reading challenge of 2018. It's a little bit late. Usually I would have done it in the beginning of January or the end of December, but you know, New Year's stuff, it takes a while to get done. Anyway, so I've technically already started on my quarterly reading challenge. I've done it for the past month. You have not, so I'm going to share it with you. For those of you who are new to my channel, I've been doing these for the past year and a half now. I really like them. I just set myself 2 to 3 reading challenges every quarter so that I kind of expand my horizon of reading so I don't fall into my comfort zones only, but I read other things, and they have been working out fantastically for me, except for this past quarter, which we're going to talk about right now. Usually I start my quarterly reading challenges with check-in from my last quarter. So last quarter, October, November, and December, I set myself 3 reading goals. The first one was to read seasonal books. The second one was to complete a series. And the third one was to read 4 new to me authors. I succeeded in the third one. The rest I really failed in. The first quarterly reading challenge was to read some seasonal books. I did really well with this in October. I didn't read any Thanksgiving books, and I only started a Christmas book. But let's talk about the books that I did read. The books that I did read for October, I read 2 children's books called Dolfje Weerwolfje and Dolfje Weerwolfje Zilvertand. These are both by Paul van der Loon, and these are Dutch children's books about a 7-year-old boy named Dolfje who finds out when he turns 7 that he's actually a werewolf. I was not a huge fan of these books. I talked about that in my October wrap-up, so if you're interested to know more about them, I will leave them down below. They were cute, they weren't suitable for my own children, which is what I was reading them for. The second book that I read that was a seasonal book for October was Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I was looking for a dark book, and let me tell you, this was dark. It was a little darker than I could handle at times, but I really enjoyed it. This was one of my favorite books of the year. But after that, I had to take a break from the dark books because I couldn't do it anymore. I needed some like light, fluffy, happy books. And then for Christmas time, I read 2 short stories from My True Love Gave to Me, edited by Stephanie Perkins. This was the second Christmas that I totally failed reading this book. I don't know what it is. I can't get through it. I really liked the first story. The second story I wasn't a huge fan of, and then I stopped reading them because I just didn't have any time, and December was an epic failure, but you know all about that already. And the last challenge that I set myself for was to read new to me authors, and I did really well with that. I read books by the following authors: Julie Klassen, Carrie Maniscalco, Patricia McCormick, Paul van der Laan, Sophie Kinsella, and Dave Eggers. Not bad. For this coming quarter, the first quarter of 2018, I am again going to set myself 3 reading challenges. However, I am going to change things up a little bit. I noticed that there are some books on my bookshelf that I am just not getting to for some reason because they're either intimidating or they're just not something that I would necessarily want to read, or I get distracted by, ooh, new shiny new book. So to solve that problem, I am going to have for every quarterly reading challenge 1 challenge that will remain the same, and I'm making a TBR jar, which is actually a TBR cup because I don't actually have a jar, but yes, I am always right in case you're wondering. In this jar, I've got about 30 books on my shelf that I have not yet read that I probably won't put on a TBR unless I'm for some reason really in the mood to read it. So for each quarter, I'm going to pick 3 of these books, and I'm going to force myself to at least read 1. I'm hoping for 2, but I do know that that's going to be a lot to ask. I can't do these monthly because I won't want to read the books. I know I won't. But reading 1 forced book per quarter has got to be doable, don't you think? So let's start off by pulling out 3 books for quarter number 1. Alright, I got my 3 here. Let's see what we got. First up, oh, not so bad. First up is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now, I will be honest, there are some books in here that I probably would read on my own, but this one is pretty big, so I've had it now for 4 or 5 months, and I haven't read it yet, so it made its way in there. But I'm very excited to read this one because Obsidian is coming out soon, and I need to get cracking. Next up, we have another one, a book that I pulled out from my recent book haul that I said I wasn't so interested in. The Lies My Teacher Told Me by, who is this by? Jason M. Lowen. Lowen? I say that every time. I don't know how this guy's name is. But I am excited to read this one, sort of. But like I said in my book haul, this isn't a book that I wanted. This is a different book than what I actually wanted. But it's still interesting. But I put it in the jar because I know that if I didn't pick it out at some point, I probably would never read it, which would be sad because I paid money for it. And next up, let's see what we got. Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. Again, this is another one that was in my Christmas haul. And my husband purchased it for me, so I don't know what it's about. So probably it'll be one of those thrillers that sat on my bookshelf for really long. So quarterly challenge number 1 is to read at least one of these 3 books. Should be doable. The second quarterly reading challenge that I set up for myself is to read historical fiction. I've been in a historical fiction mood and I don't usually read historical fiction, so I thought it'd be a good idea to keep me reading historical fiction and not just get bored after one book. So far I've read 2 that I'm very excited about, and I've got a couple more planned for the next couple months. So this one should be one that I succeed in. I've set myself up for success this time. And my third quarterly reading challenge has to do with one of the things that I'm going to be doing this year. This past month I did a Christmas haul revisited from last year, so I would like to read at least one book that I have not yet read from that haul. This way I'm actually reading books that I purchased, again, to get me to read more books that are on my shelf before I buy new ones. That wraps it up for this quarterly reading challenge. If you like quarterly reading challenges, you are absolutely more than welcome to join me. You can either do my challenges, or I encourage you to set up your own challenges to get yourself out of your own comfort reading zones. It really helped me read more diversely this past year, and I'm very proud of what I got read in 2017 because of these, so I'm very excited to be continuing them in 2018. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.